Why don't you start right now? Just think of whatever you can, whatever comes off the top of your head. Don't, whatever.
My name is William. Middle initial is M, which stands for Morris. Melnick. I was born November 7th, 1927. In Manhattan, at Baby's Hospital, which was at West 61st Street, near Broadway. It is now the site of the Roosevelt Hospital. We lived in many places. My mother's name was Bessie, her maiden name was Cushman. My father's name was Max David Melnick. They were married approximately 1926, and I was born in 1927. We lived at various residences, moving a couple of times. We lived in Astoria, we lived in Manhattan, and we lived, I believe, in the Bronx. My father was a postal employee. My mother, prior to her marriage, was a teacher and an artist. I still have some of her works that hang in my apartment, on the wall in my apartment. After we lived in Astoria, unfortunately my mother got very sick and unfortunately was committed to a mental institution where she remained a ward of the state in mental institutions for the rest of her life. They battled quite a bit during their marriage and never got along. I've always had doubts as to her mental capacity being as severely bad as they seem to indicate it for her to be incarcerated in an institution. But I never raised any hackles about it because I was too young to understand all the implications of it. This happened when I was approximately 7 years of age.
Where do you live then?
What?
Where did you live then?
I believe I lived at that time in Astoria. I remember an incident.
When you were 7?
Well, I was just under 7.
And you lived in Astoria?
Yeah.
When did you move to the Bronx?
Oh, later on, I think. I don't know which order it was. It was Manhattan, the Bronx, and Queens. I have the addresses put away. I found out, I discovered them, but that's where I live.
Where in Astoria did you live? Do you remember?
On 28th Avenue.
And what?
And around 33rd Street. Not far away from where we are now.
Right. When did you move to the Bronx?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
I don't recall that. In any event, after my mother was institutionalized, my father found he couldn't take care of me. And I lived with my grandmother for a while in Washington Heights. I attended prior to this, I must say that I went to kindergarten in a house that is currently around the corner from where I live, 3142 29th Street. I don't recall how long I went there, but I was 5 years of age. The school was operated by a woman named Evelyn Schwartz, who was single. Then she married and her name became Evelyn Chernow. She lived there with her father. Her mother was deceased. I remember getting into a fight with a kid a little bit older than me, and I punched him in the mouth. Evelyn made me stand in the corner, saying I had misbehaved. Then another time, either he or I were responsible for a rock thrown at a window in the basement. And I think the glass was broken, and we both, I think, were given a talking to by Evelyn.